Transportation of raw material. We got our countdown going down. Yep, we do like a 10-minute countdown. Why do I feel trapped? Yeah, let's go.
How do I feel trapped? Like a rat chasing cheese. My reality is really all make believe. I cannot conceive. Living days of my dreams. I've been traumatized by the days I have seen on my bending knee. Hoping God intervenes. But if He don't, you know it's nothing new to me. There may never be a resting place for a G. So I'm on my feet in these streets where I'm needed. When they left me alone, that thought alone had me heated on them cold nights. Under bright street lights where my head rested. Life lessons, not knowing where my next test is. Well, I passed, man, you know my answers, no question. In this struggle so long, that is my profession. Don't stress it, don't let it. Make no more messes. Take 4 more guesses. About this universe and all the ways that you can express yourself. If I bitch, then you know that she'll undress herself. Walking through the doors of death until no excess left. On this lonely road that I'm often walking on, left a broken soul. Like the mic and talk on that you never know. The cold stories never told since the age of old. Who gives a fuck? Amongst the many faces of the fake, I remain real. Never losing my purpose or the reason that I came here. All I speak is the truth and niggas acting like they came here. We from different struggles, so I guess my pain they can't hear. They out here, all of them motherfuckers who follow reindeer. I'm out here in the storm and I be living the rain clear. I'm not a fairy tale, plus I know the struggle very well. Niggas acting rich, but I know what people is everywhere. Wanting better people, better days to make a better self. Niggas coming here on they way to make me stutter step. Come at me that way and I bet you won't take another step. I'm willing to lose it all. You got my life cause I got nothing left. With every sweat and breath, I'm motivated till my days are done. And that shit you spitting coming straight off the conveyor belt. It's manufactured and it's never ever lasting. Good opinion, but you know who you asking. I just on the road that I'm often walking on, left a broken soul. Like the mic and talk on that you never know. The cold stories never told since the age of old. Who gives a fuck? On this lonely road that I'm often walking on, left a broken soul. Like the mic and talk on that you never know. The cold stories never told since the age of old.
Next track. Let's go.
First off, I must let them know that I do this for feel. I don't fuck with the fake cause I do this for real. I aim for the top and I'm shooting to kill.
Yeah.
Though I speak from the heart of my work from the hill. No, I don't want no help, no, I don't need no deals. I done lost too much blood and shed too many tears. So many hard times over all of these years. But I guess it's all good cause it led me right here. You may think that you know, but you had no idea. Thought I would disappear like David Chappelle. You ain't got a lie, but okay. Thought I was done, but no way, Jose. I'm running with the juice like I was okay. My game cold and frozen like a snowflake. I'm trying to find a way to raise my pay rate. I'm up trying to get it before the day break. My girl like good gracious, can't you wait? No, I cannot. I'm already late. She asked if I'm hungry, I already ate. Thanks for the offer, don't need no more weight. I got 448 grams
watching live.
Cause sometimes why? Nothing ain't for sure. Nothing ain't for certain. Nothing lasts forever, but until they close the curtain. I'm putting in work until the birds chirp. No red light, everything is a go. Late night, early morning flow. Read the sign on my door. Hold no shoes in my dojo.
No shoes in my dojo.
Papers and cones on the thing. Got the smoke. Bruce Leroy, I got the glow. Showing up these hoes and niggas know. Austin Powers with the mojo. That bitch up my mini me and then she pose like Dr. Evo. We two different type of people. I don't want her. You can keep her. You treat her like you need her. I take her out and I eat her. Yeah, I'm from Orlando, but niggas they blowing Cali Reaper. I'm a weed connoisseur, so I get my drugs for cheaper. Way, way up so high in the sky, you can't even see it. Smoking that red Spears. I smoke so much that I get hot till I forget my problems. I'm drinking like the answer at the bottom of the
I call my brother come in like, ready? Watch this. Listen.
I had to readjust my focus. Everything was looking so hopeless. No progress. I was so stressed. Man, the young nigga wasn't getting no rest. Lord knows I was born blessed, but I came up in the brokenness. Mama pregnant twice and was once a wife, and I ain't even much folk yet. You can go dig a nigga goat, yes. How does the story gon' go next? Plenty things that I can never vote, yes. Still in my brain and remain unsaid, but I do not regret one memory or moment. I'ma tell you like mama told me, it'll be alright in the morning when we was hungry and all we had to eat was that school lunch. I came from nothing. Now they telling me I won't do much. I wish you do hush. Don't doubt me cause you don't do much. I'm moving like the sun. Every time I see the moon come, you only got two choices. Life or death, my nigga, choose one. This vessel.
Yeah, we go to the next track. We got 2 more minutes, man.
More movies, less drama.
Yeah,
And features that make
yeah,
watching live
yeah.
TV even easier.
Yeah.
As I ride through the west side where I reside, I behold with my eyes the tales of many lives and still those filled with tears will never cry. I often wonder why, talking to the sky with no reply. The future of my faith we must decide. Look outside, my niggas tell me, are you satisfied? I look aside and find the truth that they taught you to hide and set aside. Your pride make we all be unified. Why divide when it's time for the turning of the tide? Let us set the sail and make we way that bullshit goodbye. We was born to be royalty, man.
What's up? Another day. Get your pencils and your papers. Get your pencils and your paper.
Stuck in the middle of there and nowhere. If you can hear me, Lord, I need you there. Don't mean to phone you won't collect your tears, but every now and then they do fall. But I'm ready for whenever you call. I'll be whenever you call. It gives me chills. Whenever you come home, I can't stay still, but I can't recall the last time you called.
All right. I told you I'm gonna give y'all a treat today. I told my people I'm gonna give y'all a treat today. If you got your pencils and papers, you using your hippocampus, you remembering. If you don't have your pencil and your paper, that's on you. You will miss the treat. Because one of my favorite cartoons, Inspector Gadget, after I do this, it's not gonna be saved. So I hope you have your pencils and papers for you can write these book lists down. And if you don't get it all, if you are attentive and you like to get with me, it's a way to do those things. So let's be respectable to everyone on here, not only myself, but to everyone that log on this platform. And if you don't agree to what's being said or what may be said, please excuse yourself or I will do it for you. So, with that being said, in my academic endeavors and just in studying and being a part of different think tanks that I've allowed to be in, where a lot of people all try to say, "Oh, this is some secret society and all this goofy stuff." The reason why average men say that is because they just regular, how can I say, street brothers. When you're dealing with wisdom or anything, especially like academia, it's other thought process and houses that you will be introduced to or you will be invited. Like, for instance, I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. You know, that's in Cali on Felix Drive. So I'm transparent. I don't know what nobody be talking about. It's nothing new under the sun. It's wisdom. And so the average person that may not know a little bit more or may be introduced to the science or maybe just don't have the aptitude to study in that manifestation and use supreme mathematics to build themselves up and be a map and a guide for brothers and sisters in the flesh. I think that'd be some dilemma when it's others that's like that. Like when we talk about all the ones that's left in the flesh. Noble Drawley, who else? Uh, Daddy Grace, Father Divine, all them brothers that had movements. And so wisdom is just wisdom. And so today you're gonna get the pleasure. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna break down a couple books. You know, I'm not gonna break down each book. I'm just gonna give you the topics of these books, and then I'm gonna give you another book topic. I mean, a whole other book list from a brother that a lot of people listen to, which is Bobby Hemmett. I'm gonna break down a whole plethora of book list for you, and then with my brothers and sisters that I study with my private group, that anyone can be a part of if they want to be. That's your choice. You know, we break those down in our private Zoom meetings. Excuse me. So, the first piece of literature is the dynamic laws of prosperity. These are just good pieces of reference to read and study and add value to. I know people say the Bible. I get all that, but that's not what we're here to do. I'm showing you tools you can use in your toolbox. Three Magic Words by U.S. Anderson. Oh, I forgot to give you the author. The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity is by Catherine Ponder. Three Magic Words by U.S. Anderson. Secret Doctrine of the Rosicrucians is by Magus Incognito. Science of Being is by Eugene Furshin. The Master Key, Part 1 and all the way through 3, is by L.W. De Lawrence. The Power of Awareness. Mental Chemistry by Charles F. Harrell. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Dr. Joseph Murphy. The Secret of the Ages, Robert Collier. Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. The Magic of Being by Claude M. Bristow. Thought Forms by Ann Bissett and C.W. Lindbergh. The Hindu Yoga, Science of the Breath. We talk about the holy breath. The Kabbalah by the Three Initiates. A lot of people have that already. The Great Wisdom Within by C.D. Larson. Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Bernard. Hermetic, I always connotate it as Hermetic by Brian D. Copenhaver. You know, In Tune with the Finite, with the Infinite. The Secret Door to Success by Florence Scovel Sin. How to Be a Genius to the Science of Being Great, William D. Maddles. The Master Key System by Charles F. Haniel. The Life Power and How to Use It by Elizabeth Town. Compensation by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It Works by R.H.J. and Realization Made Easy by Kate Atkinson. Those are just a few books that I suggest you have in your study when you want to do those things. Not saying it takes away from anything. What we said to add value to. So I'm gonna give you another book list. Yeah, I got that right there. I got that, bro. Yeah, I got that. I got it. Gratitude. Gratitude, bro. So I want to show y'all something. So, like I said, I'm always going to share things with y'all. So I just gave you about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Now I'm gonna break down some things when it might come back to your remembrance. When a lot of our brothers will be speaking and they hold up the books, which a lot of our elders do when they lecture, but you don't know what the books are. And it's no disrespect to none of our elders. I'm saying, how can I be respectful? It's nothing new under the sun. Put it like that. It's nothing new under the sun. Nobody have no new wisdom or anything. And if anybody has some secret power or anything when they get sick, all the stuff that they saying, they should just fix themselves. That's how you can know when it comes down to certain things that people promulgate. It's all what? Fugazi. So I'm gonna give you another book list. You know, and these are some of the things when you start hearing elders lectures. With all due respect, that may have lectured, and you will hear them speak. You will be able to say, okay, my brother in the flesh has delivered things for us, and then he go over them as he should. For those that may not have the aptitude, or not even the aptitude, but the degree to even investigate these paradigms. So, watch this. Here's a reading list that all young brothers and sisters should have. I gave you almost 20-some books previously. But now, here's a plethora of books that I recommend. You know? So, here we go. The first one is the ISIS Papers by Francis Wilson. Everyone probably have that, right? I'm sure. The Hermetica by Peter Gandy. Hermetica by Walter Scott. Hermetica by Copenhagen. See, I just broke 3 of them down. Pagan Origins of the Christ Myth by John G. Jackson. The Finding of the Third Eye. Vera Stanley Elder. The Egyptian Book of the Dead by Mutawa Ashby. Legends of the Egyptian Gods by E.A. Wallace Budge. The Cyrus Mysteries by Robert Temple. Christianity Before Christ by John G. Jackson. Selected Writings and Speeches of Marcus Garvey. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. The Ankh, African Origins of Electromagnesium. Nura Ankh Aman, African Origins of Civilization, Myth or Reality by Sheikh Anta Diop. Without Sanctuary, I got that book over there. See how much it costs on Amazon. Lynching Photography in America by James Allen. Why Darkness Matter, The Power of Melanin in the Brain. Behold a Pale Horse, William Cooper. From the Motherland to the Mothership, Sirlene Wallace. Secret Source, Adam Parfrey. Earth, Plenium, Keys to the Living Library, Barbara Markinac. Who's Who in Egyptian Mythology, Anthony Mercantanti. Psychic Self-Defense, Dion Fortune. Conflicting Genes, Neutrinoids and Genocide, Amun Ra, Atum Ra, Brother Polly, Gnosis, Philip Gardner, Gnosis, Kurt Rudolph, Yoruga, Maramba Ani, 1984, George Orwell, Cosmic Voyage, Courtney Brown, The Martin Chronicles, Ray Bradbury, The Island of Dr. Maru, H.G. Wells, The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, The Art of War, Sun Tzu, The Historical Origins of Christianity, Walter Williams, Metanetter, Volume 1, Ma'at Philosophy, Ancient Egyptian Light of the World, Gerald Massey, Pregnant Darkness, Alchemy, and the Rebirth of Consciousness, The Sufis, The Historical Jesus and the Mystical Christ, Gerald Massey, The Coming Race, Baron Edward Lure, Lynott, Saturn, A New Look. Oh yes, and I remember a college student asked me about that book. The book is called Saturn, A New Look at an Old Devil. Book of the Beginnings by Gerald Massey, The Way of Hermes, Clement Salomon. So many references I'm giving you. Even when Alex Crowley wrote the Book of Law, I can show you where it came from. All the Rosicrucian manuals, I can show you it all conveyed to what I've been showing you. All these books that these writers back then that I gave you, I've given you over 60 books. The Kemetic Tree of Life, Echoes of an Old Dark Land, Atlantis and Lemura, The Third Eye, Supreme Mathematics, Lost Cities and Ancient Mysteries of the South, Lost Cities of the North, Central America. I mean, from Fetish to God, another one by E.A. Wallace Budge, and the Africans who wrote the Bible. I mean, all this is reference that can be researched. So when we be talking about things, we're not here to disrespect anyone, but what I want to show my brothers and sisters and our young children is that it's so much wisdom that's just sitting there. It's so much science that testify to being upright. It's these things should be taught to the babies at a young age. What I'm speaking of is elementary wisdom. All I'm speaking about is elementary wisdom. We're not saying to take away. What I'm saying is add value to. And what we're doing is add value to. So when we break things down and when we break wisdom down, watch this. And when we break the mental process down from all different perspective of intellectual property, when people come at you, it's no disrespect to a lot of people. It's just the eye is not illuminated. And your potentate or whatever you want to call it, especially if you melanated, you're just not being led in a proper direction. And that's just all I'm saying. And so when we deal with science, when we deal with these keys, it can only be explained one way. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that, and then we're going to deal with a little bit of the mind, and then we'll wrap it up. You know? Watch this. Let me get my notes. So, I always like to start things off by saying, truth are for those who see beyond the real and the world and beyond its rude symbols. These just phrases that is dear to myself. They might not be dear to you, but they might make sense to you because they should. That's what we're doing. The Bible, right? Collection of scriptures written through the power of symbology. The Old Testament, old consciousness, left side of the brain. Watch it. The New Testament equal new consciousness, the right side of the brain. Stay in context. Jews in the Bible, genetic principles, representation of the elements, and what will they become in life. So, I got it. Yeah. History records the so-called past. So when we talk about meditation and all these important things, Kabbalah and Kabbalistically speaking, the science dealing with our body per se, the so-called cross, the body of the four elements, the light, which we say the realization of what the Creator can potentially be. 5-pointed star equals the body. The 5-pointed one is standing straight up. And see, and that's when I tell people, I'm not under the type, I don't know what people misconstrue, but if we're going to do something and if we're going to demonstrate things, I hope we should be able to demonstrate it in a proper manifestation and stand straight up, and stand straight up. If you a pentagram, your pentagram should have all of the extremities. And it's no disrespect. It's no disrespect. We can go farther with it, but there's no reason. Wings equal the soul or spirituality. And rose equals the soul. So in this in this context, priest and priesthood equals keepers of tradition, not revealers of truth, but keepers of tradition. No disrespect. We're just having a real conversation. So when we talk about these grips or these Masonic grips, the sign of communication between those initiates and those fraternal brothers and sisters. So when we talk about the metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that investigates the principle of reality, the universe is composed of what? 90% of what? Dark matter, right? So 9 equals a certain hue or the cosmic oneness of the universe. That's accomplished artists and great thinkers who are inspired by the universal truth, the circle and the dot, the 6 and the 9 ether, or the mother's womb per se. Just talking about science. That's why we always teach, and anybody, no matter what you they are, they're going to teach you all the God men, all the great thinkers, they're going to tell you. If you don't have self-knowledge, it shows that you can be easily manipulated. And if you don't have self-knowledge of yourself, you will know, in a sense, who you really are. You won't know. And the two parts of a whole with you that you must know and understand overall is the indigenous man and woman that had always been a part of you and I. We are here to recreate or bring back the kingdom of the spirit. Understand that. This is the balanced forces that we call Mayat over Esthit or the Hanaku. Know that the Creator, which we call today God, and all other names, for lack of a better term, is the creative power. The mind of God within you. I always tell people we are made in an image and a likeness of the Creator, the universal all in all, without a doubt. And when it comes to understanding consciousness, exoteric, that's the external aspect of basic knowledge. While esoteric, the deeper or the eternal aspects of the universal knowledge. It is for no one to claim or belongs to anyone or group. No one owns it. So when you got these brothers out here arguing, well, Noble Drew Ali didn't do that, do that, do that. Okay, great. Great. Okay. Well, I'm fine with that. Let's proceed. Now what? It'd be nothing else. It'd just be a whole bunch of talk. So we're not talking about what man taught. That's great what man taught. But we're here in the flesh. We're going way beyond what somebody taught. The esoteric knowledge is that which is specialized or advanced in nature, only available to a narrow circle of enlightened, initiated, or highly self-educated people. See, these is the facts. Like when I talk about the ciphers, the cipher, or the 13th cipher, the Y equals azuf, fire, sight, the H equals debra, the air, the hearing, the W, the yithra, which is the water, the taste, the H, the asa, the earth, the smell, the Hebrew, or the kumedo, equals term for fire language. The truth is that the pyramids are a symbol of musical instruments used to maintain and also stabilize the harmony of the planet. See, this is way deeper than what people just be arguing about. Because all is mind, and mind is movement. And it becomes sound, light, geometry, and numbers. Right? Like, for instance, or think about it like this. Agreeable and disagreeable, two parts of a universal whole that is always trying to suppress itself in an evolutionary cycle, per se. The two cannot be separated. Consciousness, that's what we're talking about. You are that you are, or I am that I am, or Asha Aya Aya, I will be what I will to be. The concept of positive and negative, or agreeable and disagreeable, good and so-called evil, is a most simplified attempt at universal understanding. It's basic to atomic structure, as well as the principles of morality, religion, and social order. Remember, in numerology and the occult, attempts to measure man in relation to the total mysteries and its total mysterious universe. You can research the secrets of numbers on page 12. These forces are always complementary. These forces are not human, they are cosmic. These were different energies that became so-called demonized. Agreeable and disagreeable are energies because the pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right. The only evil that exists is your ego. So don't get locked down to one area of study. I tell everyone that. You don't get locked down to one essence of science where you miss the rest. We don't do that. We don't do that. If that's what you do, that's fine. But if we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest, we don't do that. We don't get locked down to one area of study. But if that's your plight, so be it. You see? But the heart center that corresponds to the three phases of darkness, or a state of shape or form called nu, the NU, the NUN, the T in the parentheses equal cosmic waters. See, they know this, man. And it's no disrespect because a Mason breaks down as a child of the sun. is in the mind of man. Is the womb of woman, Af-Ra, the AFU, the Ara, the Ra equals flesh of Ra, or flesh, the gift of the Creator within you and I. I'm telling you, Africa equals the great ancestral body of Ra inside the mother's womb, from Met to Neter. The AF equals the F, the AF, the body spirit, or the body spiritual body, or the body spiritual context. But that body, also the mother's womb, the RI, the RE, the RA is the life force, the vibration, the state of being, the entrance, the doorway, the entrance of a sacred temple. The Ka equals the divine essence of the spirit of the God within man. So when we deal with numbers, those equal reformation of old and outdated ideas per se in its context. Research in one of the books is called The Temple of Man on page 67. I'm going to keep giving you reference. Islam. I'm going to keep giving you reference. I'm going to keep giving you reference all day. For Western men, it becomes very difficult to discern the truth from the false. And a lot of our brothers, because they don't watch too many YouTube videos, and mine got polluted and won't tell where they got that crap from. And so he attaches all value to the product of his work, which, however, contributes absolutely nothing to his reality. That is, to the widening of his consciousness, the aim of his existence. He has forgotten that it's only the love that he puts in his work. That's why I said I don't get caught up in none of that crap. I'm going to continue to write my own books. If people buy them, I can care less. I'm alumni from 2 universities. I get to lecture on campus. A lot of people have bought my books. I have the pleasure to travel and do lectures, and I'm getting ready to go to Vegas. What's up? For which can arguments, humanist, yep. That's on page 98, yep. Numbers are numbers are then no longer merely notations that designate quantities, but the expression of living. Watch this, I'm gonna give you all this little bit. I hope you got your pens. Because see, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. Listen to these men that's older and just arguing, talking about other people. Like, that's not our time. We're Moors. We give credit to Noble Drew Ali for what he did. We going beyond that. We add value too. If you want to stay there in those times, that's great for you. Peace, brother. That's great for you. I give honor to you. I give honor to all great men. That's what I be telling people. What's up, baby? I give honor to all great men. You know, I give honor to all great men, but I am in the flesh. I give honor to Noble Drew Ali. I give credit to Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. I give credit to all great men. But we were Moors way before our prophet. Our prophet brought the Moor Science Temple of America. That's his duty. But you had Abdul Hamid Solomon. You had Deuce Muhammad. You had brothers that knew who they were Moors a long time ago. You had Sufi, the Moradines. You had a plethora of brothers. But our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, brought a certain type of science, which he brought to here in America, which was the Moor Science Temple of America, to the so-called North American Negro. So we give credit to that, but we don't stop there. And if you choose to stop there and argue about a whole bunch of old stuff, that's on you. So let's proceed. Each number has a personality, and each personality has 2 sides belonging to the one. Because there is a creative function definable at the origin. Everything should be able to be resolved, again, by the function. This then is the theory of numbers and the only true philosophy. All the rest is but imaginary projection. So watch how I pull some things for you. I'm giving you reference. I'm gonna give you the scroll. It's a scroll. It's called Scroll 3, V3, in the sacred records of the Adam Ra. It's the black book on page 257 and 258, you probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why I tell you, you don't gravitate to one science where you miss the essence of the rest. You study with somebody, then come to my dojo and talk about you want to talk to me, and all my students. Not only are they wisdom, not only are they in a certain stature, but it's so much love, it's so much things before we even get to thinking we want to learn. It's all those other things that come with it, where we just ain't trying to get things and say, oh, I'm finna use this to get out of jail, or I think I know something because I done watched 13,000 stupid ass videos, and you think this stuff is real, and it's not. I tell people this. All I tell people is look up Roger Elvick, and then tell me what you get. And then tell me anybody with that language, I tell you, you going to jail. It's that simple. And brothers do not be listening. They steadily keep doing their own thing, and I'm like, okay. But too many, such as when I talk about, and it's no disrespect, because I know Freemasons, Shriners, and everything. But a lot of those Freemasons and Shriners, a lot of the Knights of Columbus, Alhambra, a lot of the Rosicrucians, Theosophical Society, because I've been introduced to a lot of the wisdom. A lot of people that they think is potentates, I know them firsthand. The Astara, and their many sub-chapters and degrees depend on geometric mathematics as the keys to their secrets that adds up to no more than simple geometry. That's what you don't know, but I know. When I say, man, this ain't nothing but damn snowman wisdom. What, in meteorology, when water freezes, only 32 degrees? I tell all my brothers and sisters, I'm transparent. I don't know why you want to be a part of something locally. What you got to say, you just want to be a part of around brothers, a clubhouse, then that's fine. But if you don't know who you are, then you must admit, yeah, you just in it for the fun. And then that's okay too. Because a lot of people do things just for pageantry. But if we're doing things, we should be spreading the wisdom. We should be bringing the young kids in. We should have our own infrastructure. Why? Because we can. We're giving our money away. That's why. I'm giving you another reference. Secret Degrees and Studies of FC. The ISBN. The ISBN is like the book serial number, you know, but it's on page 107. But if you can't find it, I give you the ISBN. I do a lot in my private teachings with my students. We do it privately on Zoom. That's why I said when we get our temple, and I'm going to show everybody, we're going to get there real soon with small donations. And we're going to be able to say, this brother did something right. I'm like, I told y'all. But Masonry stresses the need for knowledge in the fifth science, geometry. And this is no longer a secret. It cannot be hid because it is written in the structure of things. You want another reference? The Temple in Man on page 46 by R.A. Swaller, D. Lubis. See, esotericism should not be understood as a secret writing, but rather as the spirit of the letter. That is to say, that which cannot be transcribed clearly. Not because there is any desire to conceal it, but because the cerebral intellect's inaptitude for comprehending the cipher. You know, I told y'all, I gave y'all a whole book list of Bobby Hemming just a second ago. I gave y'all about like 30 books just a second ago. Then I gave y'all about like 30 more books of wisdom. I hope people was listening. But you ever heard Bobby Hemming say, the light that the human brain cannot comprehend, that's the darkness? It just so happens that the secrets they are bound by oath to keep secret just so happen to be the truth to free you and I from our grave of ignorance. Just like in the Bible. Haram Abith, Asiatic man, right? Right? Your mom, she got to get something? Will you leave? All right.
Y'all ain't leaving till what, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But those are some things that they don't tell you.
We got choir rehearsal tomorrow, so I already have some clothes.
But it just so happened that the secrets they bound by oath to keep, it can help you. Remember, Elijah Muhammad wrote a book, The Secrets of Masonry. And how can he write a book about the secrets of masonry if he wasn't a mason? Farrakhan a mason. There ain't no disrespect. Hey, some of the Nation of Islam Muslim part of Scientology. Oops, did I say that? Oops, did I say that? I think I did say that, didn't I? I said some of the Nation of Islam Muslim brothers is part of Scientology. Oops. Yeah, don't be mad at me. I'm just telling you what I know. Oh yeah, that's for my car. And it's government, and they got government money in the prisons. But that's here nor there. But in that context, you can see The Craft and The Crescent, Freemasonry, and the Black Muslim Movement in America by Michael R. Scrinder on page 18. It's there. Telling y'all, man. It ain't no disrespect. All of them was Masons. Who? Everyone. Everyone. If y'all don't be, I don't want to say these brothers' names because y'all be looking at them and be like, damn, he did say that, and you never catch it. They tell you they're Masons. One of the elders would get interviewed, and then he said something, he was like, well, yeah, I'm a Mason. That's all I'm going to tell you. Then they stop. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know. There are 4 reasons why Masons keep the secret a secret. And I say I don't keep nothing secret. Everything is sacred with me. Remember that. No. No dang Sierra. Knowledge for the wrong reason can be used as a destructive tool. That's why our Kemetic ancestors put us through a rite of passage, remember? It was a way of preventing misuse of this wisdom. It was a way of preserving the tradition through the ages. In relation, no disrespect to the European mindset. They are afraid that when this science is rediscovered, when this wisdom is rediscovered, or this truth, sometimes the loose will be loosened, and those may lose control. People in secret orders, for various reasons, like to power trip, but not all of them, because I know some. They do not want that to happen because they have nothing. Knowledge only belongs to the Creator and no one else. No one has bragging rights over this wisdom. No European Negro can go past 33 degrees of knowledge because of their qualification. And it's no disrespect of the Panal. It's no disrespect preventing them from seeing beyond the literal. Whereas the indigenous, the African, the original, no disrespect, with that clear mind, that mindset have the 30, 60, the 720 degrees of universal knowledge, something that must be experienced, as there is not a soul that knows everything for sure, as all people that are knowledgeable have something to contribute to the whole. All people. For them to give away the secret was to give away the mystery and nothing more. It's something that cannot be told. It got to be experienced. And the secret was knowledge. Your knowledge concealing their teachings through the numerical values. Pure thought cannot be received by the unprepared mind. The light of pure thought is too strong for the unprepared mind and for the unprepared man's eyes as well, especially when he or she sees it for the first time. You know? The Mysterious Sphinx on page 6 by Hilton Hatima. The secret is to know. The secret is that all comes from you. The rites that they go through are for them and for them only. You only need to understand their underlying principles. If you take a look at it like this, my brothers and sisters, in the old days, each clan taught a specific discipline, varying from masonry, divination, astronomy, ancestor worship, Kabbalah, yoga, herbal medicine, energy flow, and the list goes on and on. But indigenous people are keeping the sacred rites that are passed down generations after generation. Each initiate is a keeper of knowledge that is sacred to him or her. And there are many closed communities today that maintain these secret rites. The keeping of these secrets, no disrespect again, for the European was to prevent the misnomer black people or the black family from finding the knowledge. C. Freeman L. talked about these things. All knowledge come from within. All fertility, all those symbols, they all have dual meanings. A creative principle, a destructive principle. Understanding to that fossil skull of the Neanderthal man all those years ago indicate that they had larger so-called brains, and the brain was heavier than that of the so-called modern man. Read page 198, African Holistic Health by Layla Africa. The Masonic institution is a fragment piece of consciousness that is part of a whole organism within our astrological solar system. Just some little notes. But wisdom is associated with the nonverbal right hemisphere of our hippocampus, while understanding is associated with the verbal left hemisphere of our brain. Understanding involves verbal thought. Wisdom is pure, nonverbal thought. Understanding is the level where separation and division exist. Wisdom is the level where all men and women together are one. It is only below the level of wisdom that people are separated into different individuals. But we fail based upon our misuse of the Ankh, the power. That's when we created this so-called devil. All other races are a varied degree of a hybrid or a mix of races of different genetic stock, which is nothing more than a breakdown of melanin, of the story of Atum and the Helothian, the Enad. It ain't no disrespect. In this context, when we talk about that 666, the number of the beast, the genetic code for carbon, 6 neutrons, protons, neutrons, you get that. The nu at 666 is the foundation number of creation. Then there is 777 and 888 representing transcendent and Godhead. Come on, we know this. We ain't dissing nothing. I'm just giving you more what the things can mean and what they do perceive of. If you have the esoteric and the exoteric wisdom, it's obvious that civilization and religion existed long before the time of memes, but no other record has survived. The Theology of Sex by Sabrina Asset. Research what I'm saying. To understand the mysteries of the Holy Bible, one needs to study the Egyptian teachings, because most of our hidden, marvelous Judeo-Christian wisdom that are contained in the scriptures was transmitted to us by the priests of Ra from Egypt. I'm telling you, it's there. The story of Moses, Jacob, Joseph, Jesus, and so many other in the Bible is tied to Egypt. And I show people where these teachings are from. And if these teachings precede this, then we can say these teachings are original. Why? They're at least more original than the teachings that you have. Why? Because you can see where they come from. And then you can deal with the unalterably the carved on the walls of various tombs and pyramids long before we knew anything about the ethnic divisions of the world. That's like my dad said, how can we let people just draw a line down our back and say we this, we that, we this? The only way to decipher a true scientific meaning to the ancient wisdoms is to compare the oldest teachings of the world. And that's what we do, which are the Egyptian and Hindu myths. From Sacred Cosmic Marriages, Secrets of the Egyptian Mystery Schools, teachings by Willie Gasper. I keep giving you references. The Gnostic teachings of Jesus Christ. The Gnostic teachings of Jesus Christ teaches that he doesn't want us all. And he don't want us to fear the all. And he does not control us or demand obedience to a church or doctrine. Jesus did not believe nor teach anything about a Satan. Church fathers made that up, as well as part of the New Testament. And the evidence is supported in the Nag Hammadiya scrolls, See, people be mad, but they would say, yeah, now I read the Nag Hammadi. Well, if you read the Nag Hammadi, smart guy, you will understand what I be saying. That's why I be saying these people be cap, straight up cap. They don't have no aptitude to read a poo damn diddly. Sudoku, that's what a lot of them are. Sudoku and Al literate. It be fake. Told y'all all this stuff be fake. People be mad. And I'm like, well, it's right there in the text. Namely a God and a church which promotes its own rules and doctrines and enslave its members to adhere to them. Know that all scriptures are talking about your internal organs, mechanisms, and that the story teaches you to be one with your higher self. From the historical to the biblical, to the metaphysical and to the astrological. See, that's what the scriptures teach, but they don't want to tell the truth because the truth will do what? Make you free. They know it. See, it's easy to say it, but down what they mean inside. The English name of the Bible are not translations of the Hebrew Bible. Instead, they are based on Greek names created from the Septuagint Bible. You know, when we start talking about the Tanakh, but there's nothing in the Bible that can teach men to place women on an equal level with themselves, which is why we have shown earlier is a prime requirement for a healthy partnership. A healthy partnership, a healthy marriage in this context. Instead, we find just the opposite. As the most influential guide to most Westerners, the Bible has by omission and commission laid the foundation for men's disrespect for women today. Tell me I'm lying. Page 35, an Afrocentric guide to a spiritual union. Sarah, Asar, Ra equals son and daughter of God. Saranuta, or Tantra, from the Metanetter. Shata, or Shat, incomprehensible mystery, very deep and profound. The Aut, the A-U-T, equals the act, the A-C-T, the act of being mysterious. The Sonetter, and ancient African term, Egyptian mysteries, was a universal teaching for any cosmic mind that was in balance and was ready to receive information. In general, Western culture, the Egyptian mysteries was often seen as something mysterious and occult. See, that's what they try to say when you have your wisdom. Oh, this is some occult. Or, yeah, it is a culture. Yes, it ain't nothing wrong. All your religion is a cult. What you talk about? When you look at the meaning of a cult, you'll be like, well, then it's all the same. And then when I start breaking it down, they can say nothing but sit on their hands. The Samitawi, the yoga, to unite, the androgynous, the oneness, the whole, the complete, return to the source, the unifier of the two lands. And then we're dealing with the pineal gland. A corollary notion was the calcification of the pineal, caused psychiatric disease, a concept that provided support for those who considered psychotic behavior to be rampant. It ain't no disrespect, but we know this. Melanin gives humans ability to feel because it is the absorber of frequencies, of energy. It ain't no disrespect. We just talking about a little bit of wisdom. We talk about symbols, the phallic symbol. And many ancient seekers, the phallic structures symbolize wellness and good health. The three types of energy, remember, organic, magnetic, electric. The lower of all the energies, the feminine principle, is the initiator in the higher realms of consciousness. Just some of my personal notes. I'm telling y'all, man, it's so much that I done put together. It's very easy. Peace, Noble Brian. It's the less known fact that this was the best kept secret by the light. That is the true God of the mother. It was a brother named William Preston who lived in England during the latter half of the 18th century, said that knowledge was the universal solution for the problem in the world, bringing light to a candidate by actual educating him. You see, we learn in Masonry that knowledge is the answer to all things. I teach that here at BBT. What? Knowledge. Knowledge is the answer to all things. This is a fact. No other way. How? Because educating yourself of everything before you step in anything. In pre-Islamic Arabia, Allah was not the sole divinity, having associates and companions, sons and daughters. The orgasmic energy, which can last as long as 14 hours after lovemaking, nourishes your body and charges your brain. By the man's not ejaculating too soon, the couple will have time to generate more healing energy. I'm just in the science. I hope y'all understand that when you hear these Pascal, Beverly Randolph, and they be talking about sex magic, and I talk about your pheromones, well, they just took your science and perverted it. I'm teaching it. There's nothing wrong with this science when it's taught the right way. You'll be like, oh, I understand, because you should. All we doing is reversing the spell. That's all I'm doing is reversing the spell. I'm just reversing the spell. Sex is not an object. Sex is one way that the Creator experience itself. Sexuality is about bringing back the balance of the masculine and feminine forces. See? Understand that sex was knowledge, where the wisdom attained was through the female, through the polarities. See, that's why Freemasonry is a representation and study of the masculine and the feminine energies. They won't tell you that. The sexual energy is the cosmic force. That's why I say you don't gravitate to one science when you miss the essence of the rest. Or don't overdo it. Always give space, per se. To what? To add value to. I mean, I can go, listen, I can go deeper and deeper with things. Listen, human sexuality, all these things, doing a certain thing can cause certain things. But that's just for another time. I hope we know where I'm going. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. In Masonry, there is no secret about the aims or principles, all representing a rites of passage and spiritual growth. The plum, by the junior warden, symbolizes an upright life. The level, by the senior warden, a symbol of equality. The square is worn by the master of the temple, and it symbolizes morality. I mean, those are some good things, but we can go deeper with that. The pillar of the temple, Boaz, Jachin, are which play so important parts in Masonry, are symbols which occur in the Jewish Kabbalah, where they are described as two of the 10 Sephirots. They know this. All you got to do, look on page 207, Secret Societies and the Subversive Movements by Nista H. Webster. And it's also a piece of literature called The 13 Masonic Secrets. It's a lot. Boaz and Jachin symbolize unity, or unifying your brain mechanism, reuniting Asar and Aset, also known as Shiva and Shakti. I mean, it ain't nothing but the Osiris mysteries. That's all they know. My European colleagues will tell you that, because they sons of Muslims. They not widow sons. That's why our elder C. Freeman L. told us that the game of life is to become God, and how to open the mouth of God. See, you can learn that the Jewish mystics inherited the diagram 10, with 3 of the hidden aspects of God as a network of the 10 spheres, and called it the Tree of Life. Remember? The Tree of Life is a blueprint of the inner workings of the Creator, the universe, and the human soul. It is through the female, that the female aspect of God, known as Shekinah, that we can begin to access the power of God, the universe within us. In the Tree of Life, the hidden forces of the flow in the temple of God. And we soon begin to realize the hidden personalities of the Sephiroth and the Kabbalah in relationship to the principles of the tree in one. And when trying to get closer to God, per se, is the Trinity being dual, both male and female, the black dot of the infinite consciousness, or in the inner knowledge of the knowledge of oneself. Isn't this the most important lesson of all? To know oneself? Isn't it written that he or she who knows oneself knows God? Uniting the pillars of judgment and mercy. Once we understand this with wisdom, we rediscover the mother and father of the kingdom. Knowing that the scripture is not a book, it's in us. The one was never supposed to end anything. It was all another system of control. Remember how when I broke down the matrix on Matrix Reloaded? Kakura, the masculine, the Christ, the Makura, the feminine, the Sophia, Christ, the liberator, Sophia, the goddess who natures man with her wisdom, such as the earth or the womb or the wombiverse or the universe per se. Jesus Christ on the cross, the light became matter, the spirit descending into the physical. Jesus is the archetype for the God or the spirit manifest on earth, or the process of suns becoming planets, or spiritual beings materializing into the physical life form. And the physical and the symbol of Jesus on the cross simply expresses the whole process of creating and destroying. So-called Jesus is the I am that will be, or the interpretation of matter being spiritualized by the divine spirit. All of the great heroes, messiahs, are representations of the sun falling into matter. If we talking from the same context, like the fall equals the spirit fell into the matter and becomes the source of all evil according to the Christian point of view. Angels in the Bible is a metaphor for an angle or a degree of information as it descends from the spiritual to the physical. Levitine equals female principle. Behemoth, male principle. Levitine and Behemoth or Behemoth are the yin and the yang. The compass equals wisdom. The square is knowledge. Gnostic is the knower of truth. The letter G in this context, understanding, generativity, having the ability to originate, produce, or procreate, standing for the principle of generativity, the power to reproduce, bringing forth life. The letter G, or geometry, is symbolic of Ra, and the life force, the life-giving fire, the eternal flame, or never-ending flame. Just like when we talk about this burning bush. The sun, the solar plex, or our soul center, or our heart chakra, representing the male and female reproductive organs. That is why it's important to understand your sexuality. But we let people pervert it, and you run from it. God equals dual, the YHVH, dual, the number 4, the foundation to everything. And in all Native American cultures, the principle of the shrine, the sword is the masculine energy, words of power, like the double-edged sword. The star and the crescent is the mother's womb and the feminine energy. Angels and demons equals the higher and the lower self. The worship of Serapis, the Jesus myth. Serapis, Egyptian, ca. 325 BCE. Serapis Christos, Greco-Roman, 135 BCE. Worshippers of Serapis calling themselves bishops of Christ. Can't be mad at me. I'm just telling you what it is. Egypt, which you commanded me, my dearest Syrianus, I have found to be wholly fickle, inconsistent, and consciously waffle about every breath of fame. The worshippers of Serapis here are called Christians, and those who are devoted to the god Serapis, I find, call themselves bishops of Christ. But see, they praying to Serapis. Ask them. You can read in ancient books, read Harden to the Seravinus in 134 AD. Fact check me. The Essenes or the Asans and Serapis. What was so shocking to the scholars who examined the ancient documents, brothers and sisters, was a community of people practicing Christianity or something very close to it for at least 200 years during that time, before the time of Christ. See, they know it. Evidence of this is seen in the Dead Sea Scrolls, where its contents were suppressed by the church. Remember Joshua Christus of the Coptic Church, The embarrassing fact that Jesus was actually executed as a political offender. Christ was condemned to death by the Jews as a political offender. Remember the trial of Jesus, the popular notion of a, no disrespect, a white Christ is a myth, but the historical Jesus, as there was many of them, was an African Hebrew revolutionary. Read African Origins of Christianity, part 1 and 2. I done gave y'all 30 books. I gave y'all the whole book list with Bobby Hemmett, his list. And I gave y'all a whole another book list of thought. When I talk about the star Cyrus, is Virgo equals the sun, aka Jesus. The 3 stars of Orion, the 3 kings, which is not another cosmological science. The higher creatures, the lower. Man did not come from the ape. The Egyptian mysteries were the center of organized culture, the esoteric philosophy of the greater mysteries of the stolen legacy, and the students had to submit to many years of tests and ordeals, just as they do now, that their eligibility for advancement might be determined. You got to understand that man creates miracles by what? Helping himself. That's the miracle. Symbolically, the initiates are conditioned towards what? Being militants. The order was specifically Kemetic society. They like to say Hermetic. I say connotatedly Hermetic. Teaching the arts of alchemy, Kabbalah, and the magic of Hermes, along with the principles of the occult. When we talk about the Hermeticism, Jesus personifies the Son of the universe, while his Father is only the personification of an ancient symbol. Now, when you put them together, you will see that Serapis Christos became Jesus Christ by who? Emperor Constantine. When? In year 325 AD. Don't be mad at me. In reality, the story of Jesus portrayed in the Gospels is nearly identical to that of the early saviors. The gods. Remember, I gave y'all the 16 crucified saviors before Jesus Christ. You can't be mad at me. If you will say yes and agree, then it ain't nothing to be upset about. Because every scholar educated with a little tittle of wisdom, they tell you, yeah, it was 16 crucified saviors before Jesus Christ. Well, if that's the case, then what are we talking about? Then we might as well say checkmate. It's a move in chess where it only take you a couple moves and a game over. It ain't even nothing else to argue about or have a conversation about. We might as well be done. It's identical to Krishna, Horus, all the other ones. The Christ conspiracy. 1 Corinthians 6 and 19 and 3 and 16. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which of God, and ye not have your own? Saying you don't you got your own? See, no disrespect. The Blue Lodge in Freemasonry relates to the first 3 degrees of the order. The first 3 degrees in Freemasonry signifies by which each candidate ascends from a lower to a higher condition of knowledge or awareness. And they get their stuff from, all right, whatever. I ain't gonna go there. But the Kabbalah equals the Greek word for Kabbalah. The Kabbalah has what? 7 keys or 7 chakras. The Kabbalah principles of the occult, aka the Kemetic science, is a form of what? Alchemy. So when I say Gatia, the black magic, the magical arts, the magic of Hermes, the Kabbalah, the rites of passage systems. Man is a fragment piece of consciousness. Is suffering the cause, the winding of man's consciousness. Remember, all this is referenced in the Temple of Man on page 37. I'm just giving you my notes. It's another writer called Swallender D. Lubitz. He still remains unknown to the general public in the United States, despite the fact that the 7 of his works are currently available in English. Alchemy, a memoir, the Hermetic, occult, political, and private aspects of R.A. Swaller, D. Lubitz, by Andre van de Broek. I got all of them. It's another piece of literature. It's called Rites of Passage. The purpose of the Rites of Passage is to transmit and translate Mayak culture. On page 326, African Holistic Health by Lila Africa. I got you. I'll call you back, bro. The rough aslar, the symbolic of a rough, crude stone. The uneducated man, the man unaware of his potential. And two, the perfect aslar, the symbol of the educated man who has been taught by those more knowledgeable than him. And three, the trusty board, symbol of the natural and the moral law, used by the working master. Master equal working man, a symbol of the perfection. Symbolically, a spiritual board, a divine plan to lay out the plans to build a temple, a spiritual temple, physical and in the mind. So when I did with the occult triad, like I said, we're going to talk about it all, right? The Kabbalah, application of the oral tradition. Masonry is like the creation. When they talk about stone building, Tantra is like liberation. That's astro. That's spiritual science. When I talk about being as spiritual spirit builders in this science, I talk about that later. Combined together to create the what? Harmonious what? Triad, melanin and ether. The science of what? Magnetism. That electro power, that electric, that magnetic power, that ether is a class of organic compounds. The substance through which electromagnetic waves travel. It happens when doing your thing. Watch this. While knowing this, that electric is the study of electromagnetic field, also known as what? Sexual energies. A force on particles that possesses the property of electric charge. Watch this. The fez is a phallic symbol, symbolizing fertility. In this context, what? Your fez. Procreation and regeneration. But most of all, Asar's penis. Also the circle and the dot as a sun symbol, which heavily influenced the Taino culture. And the confusion to this is how people talk or hear about the fez. It's mostly the esoteric, and not that many people go into the depth in the historical. Remember, everything has two sides to itself. As the later on in history, for political agendas, it was used for the opposite, conquest and war. When they say the African, no, the Fez was used by Leopold, the Fez was used by Hitler. Hell, they was under Hitler's regiment and army men was under Islam. So what are we talking about? And Leopold used that in the Congo as part of their uniform. So when the people say the Moors did this, okay, let's put you back there with Leopold. Either you're going to die or kill Leopold, or hell, them Negroes sold out Patrice Lumumba. When Leopold's in the Congo, his own people sold him out. So what are we talking about? People sell out people, your own people. Negroes are telling their own brother. Negroes killed their own brother. So as a phallic symbol, the fez is representation of Asar's penis as the ejaculation, the 360 degrees of knowledge into the womb of his wife, Aset. As a flower sprouts, it loses its original essence, but the principle never changes. A lot of those Ottoman Turks adopted the fez from the Greeks, who were students of the Egyptian mystery schools. The first Egyptian tribes to invade, such as the Hyksos, the Phoenicians, the Greeks, the Persians, the Romans, and later came the European tribes that proceeded after the German Gothic. They are recessive genetic types. No disrespect. That hybrid type, no disrespect. That's just a race of a varied degree. It ain't no disrespect. Grafting per se. For the time being, we go back to the pre-Columbian artists who certainly had no idea that they were being called upon thousands of years later as witnesses of ethnological happenings in the world. We have, however, every reason to put them in a historical witness stand because they are indeed good and reliable witnesses. Page 57, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America. You got to get that. I'm giving you references. When y'all look at this stuff, it's all here. I'm giving you a peer-reviewed scholarly education on wisdom. People go to college for this and get paid. That's why I'm telling you, when the Creator bless us with our temple and our library, is over. Our kids are going to be growing up and be introduced to what they need to be introduced to at a young age. Watch. And we don't have to complain no more because we're going to have our own to add value to. The dynamic opposition, Boaz and Jachin, the esoteric male and female elements, the pillars of the temple, are both represented here as the mother and father. Remember, Adam and Eve equals the esoteric code for the primordial pair, which they are none other than principles for enlightenment. Y'all know that, right? Hold on, let me write. I got a note, so I won't forget this, y'all. Hold on, because I'm almost done. Oh, I gotta find this. I got you, brother. Sorry about this, y'all. I had to write this down. I got you. See, man, this why I like students. A lot of students hit me up. He was like, "Sheik, I need everything you saying. Send the donation." He was like, "I'm going to school for religious studies, and everything you talking about, we were just talking about it in class." I'm like, I be telling people, all you got to do is tune in. I don't come from no prejudice or no biasness. It's just what it is. You have every right. The doorway to the temple of Waset represents the pillars of the temple. Boaz and Jachin symbolize the opening of the legs of the African woman, and later the Masonic Hall. Y'all know this. Symbolic of the gates of heaven, the African woman. Nature or reality consists of two properties, positive and negative. Remember, read Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. When I tell you that Greek history ain't nothing but stolen Egyptian history. Page 167. Entrance to the temple. In the Hebrew Old Testament, the pillars are two people. Remember, Boaz and Jachin. In the Greek New Testament, they are John of Zechariah and John of Zebedee. In the Quran, they are Michael and Gabriel. The two pillars, Boaz, strength, and Jachin, established, are the two pillars of Horus and Set. Remember, the oblique needles of the opposing forces of nature symbolize the stability and support of the four corners, north, south, east, and west, right? They represent the entrance of the temple, that Boaz in him, her is strength, as in spiritual strength. Jachin, she shall establish a sign and establish order under Ma'at. It was said that if you pass these pillars with understanding, you have learned that the power without control, as in relationships, is dangerous. Read Kings 7:29. Boaz to the right, and pillar is power. Jachin, the left, is choice or control, the power to choose what kind of destiny you will live. As my noble Malik said, pick your struggle. This signified that you were no longer a youth. When I was a child, I act like a child. When I became a man, I put away all child's ways. But a man, when passing through the pillars, as in the sexual act, these are the characters, the principles that represented the brother, the sisterhood, and Freemasonry. On page 103, by E.A. Bulge, the degree states, and I quote, "You start off in the blue lodge or in the blue blooded, and then become red blood. You start in the blue lodge and on up to the red as you transfer from the human beast to man, Homo to Homo erectus, to Homo sapien, and then to the Elohim, Homo spiritus. This signifies a rite of passage from an unconscious being, unknown to a self-conscious and knowing being. They are simple passages that one must go to understand, to pass on to manhood or womanhood per se." Page 22 of FC Degree. This what Dr. York writes. Watch this. You know, because I told you, we can come with all of it. We deal with the good, we get rid of the rest. Most cultures in Africa, Asia, India, and many other parts of Europe, like Sweden, when at age 13, one becomes a man, woman. Hef Beneth, the sanctuary at Helophius, in which the sun god was worshipped under the form of a stone was resembled in a shape, right? A tourniquet oblique, as far as you know. So we deal with the tree of life, brothers and sisters. The tree of life symbolizes the knowledge of how to regain and retain one's spiritual identity and immortality. So one of the secrets is we have to what? Descend from the actual. Allow other life forms to manifest on this plane. We carry the genetic marker for all spiritual entities to manifest. It's the whole process of becoming. An example of this is seen on the tree of life. It is used as a gateway to ascend and descend all at once. And without it all ancient people would never be able to express our greatness. That is why I found the tree of life to be so important to study as a divine plan, to know what you are here to do. Without it, we would not know where we're going, yet alone know where we came from. See, it's simple and it's easy simply to use as a source. We as spiritual people come from different planets and star constellations. We are divine people having a divine experience. Just as the Creator does, we also create and destroy. And a very good example of this, brothers and sisters, of this is Jacob's ladder. So always pay attention to the symbology, right? The tree of life equals the what? Pineal, that gland in the middle of the garden. Read Genesis, the tree of good and evil. The tree of knowledge of good and evil symbolize an understanding of ethics and justice. The tree of knowledge also represents sexuality. Reference God on Eden by William Bramley on page 47. We soon begin to realize the hidden personalities of the Sephiroth in the Kabbalah in relations to the principles of the 3 in 1 when trying to get closer to the God per se. It is the divine trinity being dual male and female. The black dot, the stargate, the dark Vader per se, the infinite consciousness or the inner knowledge of knowing what? Yourself. Isn't this the most important lessons of all? To know yourself? Isn't it written that he or she who knows oneself knows God, uniting the pillars of judgment and mercy? Once we understand this with wisdom and understanding, we rediscover the mother and the father of the kingdom, brothers and sisters. Don't you know the Pyre and the Piraeus, that map is noteworthy for the depiction of a southern landmass that some controversially claim is evidence for early awareness of evidence and existence of America? Don't y'all know it's so much stuff? I'm gonna stop right there, man. I gotta get out of here. Man. But I can go so deep with it, man. I'd even get into the thought process. We'll do that at another day. But I just don't want us to get and gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. Getting caught up in things that's doing the movement no good. You know, again, like if brothers say they sheiks, they should be teaching instead of just joking and talking about people. Like I'm not a podcaster. What I do is I use technology to teach. I'm a teacher. And that's what we should be doing, and we should be using this platform to do that. Other people used it, to do things, to belittle themselves, to make millions and use it for themselves and make a mockery of it. But we can do the same thing, but do exactly what we say we're going to do. And I still have confidence that we can do it. I mean, I know we are a stiff-necked people, but I think we all have some common sense. And if we want something, I've laid the blueprint out. So with that being said, man, like I said, it's nothing more. Like I said, what more can I say? But I gave brothers the book list. I got something new coming out too, man. I'm going to be dealing with some brothers with this little prison reform when I get with brothers. I'm going to get with brothers real soon. So I'm going to be doing like little care packages. It's nothing major, nothing all big, but just some of the simple things. And I'm going to link up with one of my cousins that, did a lot of time. He's out see if you want to link up, and we're gonna try to see if we can do some work all over. Just us as being Moors. When I say just because you are Moor doesn't mean you can't be in the world, because we in the world. And so we just reach out and reach people where we can reach them at as being Moors. But like I said, my whole mission, man, is to build our brick and mortar. And I'm going to continue to cast my net out because I know we can do it. I know we can all be stakeholders, and I know we can use the money that we give Uncle Sam. And I think everybody have trust. It's just a matter of doing it consistently and seeing that you can do it, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think people have been courting me long enough and know a lot of my brothers to know exactly what I'm saying is A1. And a lot of times, you know, people are in a position to help, but they just don't. And that's okay too. But we're not here to show them wrong. What I'm here to do is show people what we can do. I'm here to show people what we can do is right. I'm transparent with everything. We're watching other individuals win while we're losing because we're giving our finances away willingly. And we're not ciphering until our religious and charitable contribution of our choice and getting the tax exempt receipt. So every time you see Negroes, the first thing they complain about is, oh, the schools ain't nothing and the churches ain't nothing. Okay, well, if that's how you feel, why are you giving them money? Because they tax exempt. Why don't we create our own? Why don't we stop ciphering that money to that and say, you know what, we're gonna help this brother do this? Or if we're even doing that, we need a new voice, and we need a new infrastructure, because we can't go on like this, brothers and sisters. So it has to be a change unit and say, wait a minute, this is what's need to be done. This is who we are. This is how we can use our funds. This is all we have to do, and be transparent. It's that simple. It's that simple, brothers and sisters. And so it's no reason to be on the internet arguing with brothers. It's no reason for nobody to be doing that. If people don't agree with somebody on here, they shouldn't even be on here. You know? We shouldn't even do that, because you never see, no disrespect, Europeans doing that to each other. We never see that. And that's why I said, but it comes with the territory of this social media. What? Just like you have hecklers if you're a comedian. I understand that as well. But what I'm saying is, I think we can be better than that and use this platform to educate ourselves and spread the wisdom. And if we on the same wavelength, I think we should spread it with our friends and family, especially those that look like me. This should be no biasness. This should be a breath of fresh air with all my brothers and sisters. Brothers that see what we can do in real life should be like, yep, I can assist. Especially brothers that know what I'm saying, they should be like, yeah, I don't have to, I just donate to this brother, like, just have him give me a tax exempt receipt. It's that simple. And we can do some magnanimous things. And when brothers and sisters done with their MBA or whatever they doing, we can have gyms. We can have all the camps at our facility. We don't have to go see, can we rent somebody's gym, or when the ex-basketball players that's from our city or football players from the city, they got to come home and try to use somebody's gym. Or they got to say, oh, let's see, nudie. We got to go here, and Negro will be having $10,000 worth of clothes on when they come home. Every weekend they spend about $10,000, $20,000 with their homeboys in the clubs. And then you look up, in the summer they done spent 80 grand. So their whole career, you done bought the whole neighborhood. How? With drinks and clothes and good times and abortions. I'm just keeping it 100. I ain't talking about nobody specific, but I just know the lifestyle. These is keys. These is facts. I'm showing you how we are wasteful. And then what would they do? Oh man, they'll complain. And man, I had a good time. And while the European, the Albion, what they'll be doing is using that money to send it to their nonprofits and say, oh yep, you paying your taxes. And when your basketball day is over, is another one come in, and they organizations be multi-billionaires. And you don't know that you can donate those funds to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and be the damn man in your community. Have a big ass community center. Have houses all around the community center. Why? Because it's done under your homeboy religious and charitable organization. That's why. That's how. And it can become a religious community. That's how. It's that simple. It's that simple, y'all. But it fall on deaf ears. And that's how the European Jews on Sopranos, when you see they took over a whole neighborhood. That's the Great Migration, like my city of Flint. I showed y'all. I rode down up my old neighborhood. I stayed on the corner of Patterson Street. We called it West Pass, 702. You ride up the street, boom, not even 2 blocks. You get to Proctor. Turn right on Proctor, the left side and the right side. It ain't no goddamn house, excuse my candor, on both sides. You get to the corner, 2 abandoned houses. We can own a whole street. This is what I'm saying. It's so many churches in our city that's abandoned. We could turn it into our temple and school. The Great Migration. Then, this is what I'm talking about. And so, it ain't nothing to complain about. We must pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. I gave simple solutions how. We're tax exempt from the federal government, religious and charitable and scientifically. If all our family understand that, they'll be like, yeah, you right. I'll just donate to y'all. Tell your sheet, give me a tax exempt receipt. I would love to see them doing what they're doing. You take that to your tax preparer. Done deal. Or if you understand, you file exempt. If you know what you're doing, you know what's being took out when you get a job. You let them take a certain amount of your check because you think you gonna get something back from your tax return, but you ain't getting nothing back that they took from you. You only getting a tittle. So if you understand what I'm saying, that's how you build your religious infrastructure. And if everybody doing it the right way, that's how we do business. Where? In our infrastructure. And then in due time, what happened is our infrastructure is what? The main what? Breadwinner for what we doing because we work for the temple. That be the whole thing. See, this ain't no black hand like certain organizations have. You selling all things for what? And we got multi-million-dollar things going on and ain't nobody benefiting nothing. And we don't have houses and things and going on. And brother, no, that ain't, no. This is what I'm talking about, what we can do. And nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to come to our community and do nothing. People will come in your community and march. Negroes will come in your neighborhood and do lectures and disappear. I'm telling you, we have the opportunity to do something real, and everybody know it. Just imagine if you was a basketball player, but you say you was a Moor, and you got some European or some Negro money manager, and they paying your taxes, and you come to my temple in school, and you don't understand that you can donate that money that you giving to Uncle Sam to us. So say if you in California, and say your tax, you got to pay $1 million each year. Well, in California, I can say, brother, just on the minimum, I can say, brother, just on the minimum, the law tell you that you can donate 60% of your earned income that to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And you'll be like, yep. So that means you can donate $600,000 to the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School every year. Every year. So imagine not only you and the rest of your homeboys can do that all your basketball days playing. Imagine what that'll do for our community. We have a multi-million-dollar operation. Everything that we're talking about, we'll have homes, we'll have businesses. Why? Because we have to have those, because we'll be doing everything in-house. We'll be buying all the things. The brothers that know how to fix houses, we'll make them homeowners. We'll buy a whole community. I told y'all, man, we can buy a whole freaking neighborhood for pennies. I'm telling you. And then we ain't even got to fix the houses up. They can just tear them raggedy houses down because most of them ain't no houses, and we can put modular homes on them boys, double wides. And I ain't talking about no cheap double wide. I'm talking about some beautiful double wides for about 50, 60,000 a whop and change the whole paradigm. I'm telling you what I know. And they have religious community where people got to get buzzed in. And we have our temple and our school right in our neighborhood. I'm telling you, just like the Jews do. Just like they got Chinatown. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. We can do this. The church is tax exempt for the federal government. Ask anybody, is the church tax exempt for the federal government? That's religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. So that means the church don't pay no taxes. So that means the pastor go places and don't pay no taxes on groceries, everything, his car, everything. You should get the same value. I'm telling you, and this is what people get with me. When you go grocery shopping, if y'all organization right, y'all can register y'all church and everybody go say fries or whatever, say every 3 months, and y'all got a whole bunch of people and y'all go shopping. The organization get a tax exempt check every quarter. You get to go to places and solicit them for monetary for tangible goods, because they all have departments to do that. I'm telling you, that's how I was taking all them kids to the Phoenix Suns game. Look it up on YouTube. See, it's more than just on some Sunday, somebody up there talking, huffing and puffing on some Sunday, and then everybody going home. This is what I'm saying, that what we can do, family. Because who's going to educate our kids? where we say our kids go to public schools, and it ain't even that many public elementary schools in the city of Flint. And I don't think it's no more high schools. Cause see, when everybody want to get integrated and say, "Oh, our pizza ain't good, they pizza good," you gonna give up all that good cooking to go to somebody else's restaurant so they can spit in your stuff? And now we don't even trust each other. It's only a small fraction that's doing the fugazi. And then I ask everybody, did you get hustled by these clowns? No. So if you didn't get hustled by these clowns, then we don't even gotta say them specifically. We can talk about that in generalities. And then that means we can do something right. Because the blueprint works. Look what's going on. Look at all these mega churches. Look at Joel Osteen. Look at Bishop Morton. Look at T.D. Jakes. No matter what people want to say about them, they operate off donations. If they're getting grants, they don't have to pay them back, but they operate off donations. And it's a big platform. It's no reason to hate, but we have the same opportunity to do that. Because it takes money to do anything. You can't do nothing without no money. You can't do nothing with no money. And this is what I know all my European and Jewish colleagues do. When a lot of my professors used to be like, "Hey man, I know you're going back to Flint." And I'm like, "No, I stay in Arizona." Because I know our city is, in the city of Flint, the people's mind so corrupt. Like right now, you see the algorithm, people stuck in an AI world, they'll crash. People so stuck on money. Everything is about money. Money, 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 money. That's what everything is about. It's not about knowing nothing. And that's what people want, money. You don't want knowledge of how to create. You want money. Everything is right now. You don't want to put no work in. Everything is now. That's the problem. Because we got into the virtual world. And the virtual world is allowing you to grab everything with your hand. I ain't saying nothing is wrong with the virtual world because it allowed you and I to be here. Now that we're here, I'm telling you, we can do some magnanimous things. And that's how I want to show brothers and sisters this. Yes, we can. We can do it. How? I just explained it. That's how we do it. We spread it, all of us. We build something. And then once we build something, brothers come around it. And watch how your life be blessed. Because if we'll move around for a girl or a job, and we got a temple, and we got the things going on, man, you transfer. Because we got to go with what we need, where we know is going to be successful. Because I'm telling you, we are a multi-billion-dollar operation. I'm telling you, we're already doing things that worth billions. How? Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, we start selling books. We got that. We got our own clothes. We got MorrisHaberdasher.com. We got BindedBooks.com. We got MyPDFBooks.com, books with a Z. We got ALO Design Pros. We got Herbs of Mayat. We got Brian Hicks Bay, Transportation of Raw Material. We have so many platforms. We do our own workout. We know how to grow. So all these things, infrastructure, we'll be able to do. We'll be able to tutor our kids. We'll be able to have 7th hour. We'll be able to get those grants to bring our brothers and sisters in. How? Under grants. We'll have our own organization where we'll be applying for city grants on all those things. We'll be sending people to be general contractors and things and show them how to apply for grants. And then you'll see how things go on, because that's the think tank. If nobody's thinking and have a think tank for you, where are all these ideas going to come? With us. We have our brother meetings. We have our business meetings. If we bring money in, then we got to put it back out in the atmosphere. We got to do work for the community. It can be done. We gonna let everybody else suck everything from my neighborhood? No disrespect. No disrespect to nobody. Man, don't y'all know, in my neighborhood, the misnomer Arab store, they done had the liquor store in our hood ever since I was a little kid. My homie bought one of the stores from around the corner, and my wife, bang. What was my man that was Arab? The Arab had that Issa. They had the store on Welch, right? And so my homeboy and them ended up buying the store, right? But he ain't have his liquor license. Now watch this. Negroes wouldn't even come to the store. Now the hood store was around the corner. His store was right here, right? So the hood liquor store just got liquor license. I don't know when. I've been out of Flint for like 15 years. But anyway, neither one of them had their liquor license. So brothers weren't coming to his store, right? So now what I'm saying is, his store closed. He go out of business. They store still open because they sell alcohol. He go out of business. Now, what I'm saying is our spirit messed up. What am I saying that brothers can't? Just like if we said we want good food or we want a good restaurant or a good place to buy good natural fruit and meats, and somebody open up something like that in the community, they'll go out of business. Why? Because people be like, "Oh, your stuff, your fresh stuff costs too much. I'm about to go to Fry's and get a stupid ass meat bundle." Or no, you about to go. What's that place, Sean, that sell them nasty ass meat bundles? That be selling them meat bundles. Shorthorn, yeah. That nigga will be like, no, all this fresh stuff now, go get me a meat bundle that been sitting in there for 14 days. And then they spray dye on it. You talk about that blood. That ain't no blood. You should want everything fresh. You should want everything cautiously cured, drained if you're going to do that. And you can get it done like that. This is what I'm saying, man. And in our neighborhood, it's so much plight. If you're from the urban neighborhood and grew up like I grew up in the city of Flint, it's only like 70,000 people in the city of Flint. All the schools is closed. It was just as many churches as liquor stores in the neighborhood. You used to hear like, oh, it's a liquor store on every corner. It was a church on every corner, literally. If it was, it might be 3 on every goddamn corner on each side. While you playing, you go in the neighborhood, it'd be a church on one side and a church on the other side. Like, what type of stupid shit is that? Excuse my candor. And these niggas riding past each other. Boo, boo, boo. Hey, live in the same neighborhood and talk about community. Y'all taking the money from the community. You got 2 jackleg Negroes in there competing with each other in the same community. This asinine. Oh, both of y'all gonna compete against each other for city council. Like I said, this is the stupid stuff. And they don't know about conglomerate. The city only so small. It's only so big. So I'm just talking about that aspect. That aspect. So today, as teaching, as educating, we have a lot to go with what we're doing. I gave y'all a whole book list. I gave you a book list from Bobby Hemmett. I gave you a book list that I like, you know. And I ain't even get into the awakening of the imagination. I'll do that tomorrow. I gave you a little bit of the metaphysical reference, you know. But I really, really challenge brothers and sisters to really, really get into what you're doing. And I just give honor to what we're doing because I'm so excited of what's coming. And that's what we're supposed to do, Bill. And when you're establishing something that's real, it definitely takes time. It definitely takes continuance of encouragement. It definitely takes all of us. It definitely takes that. And I just feel we should continue to be telling our friends, our loved ones, what we're continually trying to build here. You know, I really do. Because we can talk about the science all day, but then I don't think we understand the opportunity, what we really have. The opportunity that we have to have our own temples and schools that start off in one in my city of Flint, and then my other movie just popped on, one in St. Louis, and be able to have a blueprint. To be able to have the big projector screen come down, you know, if that need be, but have a gathering place. And then sharing the wisdom. And then as brothers in the neighborhood, buying plight back in the community, going to meetings, going to the city council meetings, seeing how you can get these things donated to you because you're a religious organization. Y'all don't know churches be getting those old houses donated to them in their neighborhood, especially if they're going to do a certain thing with them. We will. We have to know this. A lot of brothers is not into the know. A lot of these Moors are just talking rhetoric, but we're in a community. So if we're in a community, we want to buy back the plight that's in a community. Why don't you? We want to have our temple and school where? In the community. We want that. Why? Because we want to show brothers and sisters and the young kids that's coming up, you can have ownership in your community. And if your community have the spiritualness, have the temple there, then that's what we're talking about. It's a rebirth. And how can we do that? With the money we giving Uncle Sam, brothers and sisters. I'm telling y'all. It's a blueprint. My muftis I know, and right now Dantes, she can show you so many old churches that's abandoned in the city in St. Louis. I can show you a handful as well that's ready to operate for a couple $100,000. We do that, clean it up. When I say clean, just put our regalia and our symbology in it, our library, and start putting our library in it, start having our services. Done deal. the paradigm is changed. That what can happen. Just like that. Because this complaining, there's no reason. When people say, well, they're not getting taught that in school, they don't supposed to. That's not their curriculum. Why should they be getting something taught that's not their curriculum? And they have a reading list. And they have, when I talk about that certain type of education, you should be getting that from your religious and your elders. You should be getting that from your spiritual house. That's what it's for. That's the only thing we own. That's the first schooling. That's where we all at. That's what Dick Gregory was telling these people. They just sitting. And brothers don't know, I just told people in my city of Flint, Dates, it's only 70,000 people. 70,000. It's so many churches just sitting ready. Like, man, y'all can put y'all BBT on here, had a whole block lit up. The people in the community, the whole poster change. Man, I'm telling you, people be coming from far and near. Why? Because it's a rebirth. And who would be there all the time? Me and my brothers. We'll be recruiting the young men, and we'll be having junior nobles, junior empresses. I'm talking about saluted, working out, studying martial arts, science, different language, eating, garden, microeconomics, macroeconomics, all those self-governing things that they'll be doing at a young age in the 4th grade, knowing who they are. So when they operate, that's what we teach. That's what you would get with me. We'll teach community for the single mom, and for the young men that's fatherless, we'll teach them skilled trades. Well, they got to be built up in themselves first. That's the whole ordeal. But we got to have something for these brothers to look up to. We got to have opportunities for these brothers. These people got to see, okay, they doing something. That's what and we can cover these young brothers. Because no young man want to be no gangster. These young boys don't join gangs because they gangsters. They join gangs because they scared and they want protection. Some of them being so abused that that's the only thing that they gravitate to. And it might be a false image of love, but in their hippocampus and in their projection, that's all they may see is love. No matter if it's a negative form. To us, it's still a form to them. Yeah. It's just like we see TikTok videos of one of our older elder ladies at the Y, and the European ladies are being all disrespected to the old lady. Like, and a lot of our people don't have to deal with that. They should be able to come to our temple. I remember when I used to grow coming up, the churches used to have the grandparent program where the grandparents could come to the church and they link them up with the young kids. And they had like at the community centers for the elders, and they up there, they doing things. They don't even have that no more. The church don't even be open. These programs, Meals on Wheels, how I know I used to work for my dad. I still know how to do it now. I know how to get all these seniors a hot meal and a cold meal every day. If these programs still available. And they don't even taking advantage of it. Churches don't even be taking advantage of it. The whole church can get a hot and a cold meal for the seniors. And then in the summertime, they got a summer feeding program. When you have summer camps, they come and bring the kid a hot lunch and a cold lunch for free. For free. I know this. Adults that be need insured, free. Winterization on your house, free. These are free programs. But how do people know this? Because we have to be in the community. This is what I'm telling people when you have a group of people. It's more than just coming to church on Sunday. What's happening? But we think somebody's going to fix it because we giving our money to Uncle Sam and say, ooh, I'm going to get a tax return. You're not getting no tax return. We should be using that money we giving away to build our infrastructure and hold me accountable. Like, yep, I see what the BBT doing. They done bought that temple. They done bought that old church. Well, not that old. They done bought that church in the city. Boom. And all those houses around it. Damn, they done bought 4 of them already. They done came in, brought brothers from out of town and fixed them up. Everybody homeowners. Boom. Damn, next thing you know, they done bought the whole block. They said, you know what, own this land, because I'm going to tell you, on a lot of blocks, it's just lots with no houses. Bam, you coming and putting the double wide right on there. Bam. I'm telling you, that's what we do. We change the community. Gardens. Brothers talk about they like to garden. Well, where your land? Hell, right now we got 10 acres. We got 10 acres right now. I'll be saying, what brothers want to do? Brothers want to build something? If we had money coming in, we'll build a big damn community center on our 10 acres. Garden, everything. It'll be a big community center. We can do that on our land. This is the stuff that I'm saying that we have the opportunity to do, brothers and sisters, and we have to really start holding me accountable, and let's do it. If we supporting it, our ladies should be supporting it. Our parents should be supporting it. Our friends should be supporting it. Why? Because this is something they should want to see. Family, this is something they should want to see, y'all. Everybody should want to see this. Everybody should want to come to our temple and school and see our library, our extensive library that will be available to everyone. All the computers, and how we'll be teaching the kids all different crafts and skills. That's it on Anchor, our grinding to the organization. Got to get to those meetings. Yeah, brothers not going to their meetings. Uh-oh. Hey. Mama. I think I'm finna be done. I'm messing with my lady. She crazy. But I forgot what I was saying, y'all. Damn. But yeah, man. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say, man. We can do something magnanimous where we can leave a mark on everything. That's all I gotta say. Cause brothers done it, and I told everybody what's gonna happen years ago with that conscious community stuff, with all that Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, and I told brothers what that was about. I said it's gonna take long for a person that's doing it the right way. But we have products, we have all that. You think a person, it's just, all I tell my brothers and sisters is that we can do some of the things that's already been done. If we understand, if we share the message, that's all. And I really hope that when brothers and sisters feel it upon their heart to support our temple and school, buy some of my literature, hit me up. I have an email. I hope brothers and sisters, when they get into a situation, that they can be consistent with donations, because I give you literature. You can come to class. I'm going to give you so many gifts. We have so many retreats. And as we continue to build, I'm just projecting for we can have our own physical brick and mortar, which we should. That can show what the work that we put in, and then we'll be able to do other things. Because remember, we're tax exempt for the federal government, brothers and sisters, religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. And once that's stick in our head, we can say, okay, I can cipher this to my temple and school and get a tax exempt receipt. But then not only that, brothers can just be okay with saying, you know what, I'm just going to donate $100 a month. Because once we get 300 people doing that, nobles, that's $360,000 a year. And people be saying, that ain't nothing. I say, but it's a start. And I always want to start somewhere. Because when I start somewhere, that means I can grow. The scripture says, how you going to be able to handle the hundreds if you can't handle the tens? How you going to be able to handle the thousands if you can't be handling the hundreds? So I'm okay with that process. I want to show brothers what we can do, and I feel I put something together where it won't put any pressure on no one. I know this because I know $100 a month is nothing to no one when we're in a situation when we're handling our business in the right manifestation. That's all I'm saying. When we handling our business in the right manifestation, $100 a month will not hurt us. And look how much we can do. And then all I ask as members is just $200 a month. That's easy, and we can have something beautiful. We can build something so beautiful. We won't have to go outside nowhere. We won't have to go no other places. You talk about, I want to go to the gym at this time. You come to the temple, the gym. I want to go to the library. You come. You're going to go shoot some hoops with your kid. You go. You want to go get on the field and work out. You go. You want to go to the track. You go. You got an event that you need to have. It's here. Why? Because we all stakeholders. We all going to play an intricate part of this. We can, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, I'm so encouraged of our ability to do something magnanimous. Y'all don't understand, and some of us might not be political, but y'all don't understand what's going on right now and what Trump is doing with this Pandora box. See, when things happening, when people don't understand it and they just go off at the mouth, the Pandora box has been open and people don't see what's happening. The religious laws trump everything, and people not even seeing it. When this so-called, well, not so-called, but when people say the racist dude that got killed, peace be among his spirit and his family, first I want to say I don't wish nothing happened to no one, because any type of violence is unheard of, because my brother was murdered. So, but when I've heard people and some of my European colleagues, he said they're like these white supremacists is crazy. This some of my European colleagues. I said, well, no one is a supremacist, but I said I wanted to hear the angle of what they were saying, and what he was saying was, and I want to say it in the right way because I was like, whoa, that makes so much sense. He was saying a lot of those radical Europeans, Albions, Trader, like this. What he said was talk about white man fight or stand up for your rights, some. But he said, but this brother was killed by a white man. So what is your anger and who your anger towards? What are you rallying for and marching? Like who are you against? Because no brother did this. And you see, and so when we talk about this aggression and this anger, just wanting the enemy, and then you think white power, but okay, but what are we talking about? You see, when I tell brothers and sisters to mind their business, and we can say that what? Mind your business across the board, but we can't. We mean, I don't mean no harm and no disrespect to people. When I see things and they out there marching, a group of people like some supremacists and they the white man is and fight for your rights and we the white and like because of this brother, peace be among him, being killed. But who are you against? Who are you telling to fight for who? And who are you out there picketing against? You see? Like this is crazy. And we can talk about true life. We can talk about these things because it's current and it was brought to me. And one of my European colleagues was like, this is stupid. And he was like, this, the aggression that a group of people have, which you can see is uncharted because what is your focus and who your focus on? It looked like to me some hateful stuff. Now what it looked like to me, so I give y'all gratitude, man. I've been on here for 2 hours. I'm out of here. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be going to Vegas Thursday night. We're going to be doing 10 miles in Vegas. We're going to be celebrating one of my Noble's 50 solar return. We're going to be doing a nice little podcast interview when we in the city. But thank y'all, man. Any questions, anything y'all need, man, get with your boy, man. We're going to be going more and more and more and more, how can I say, systematic with these interviews and these podcasts as we go forward. But I'm telling y'all, brother, let's continue to work. My Moofies, let's continue to put this work in and let's build our subordinate temples. I love y'all. Peace, light, and illumination.